Manchester United's recent appointment of Omar Berrada as the new CEO has caused quite a stir in Premier League boardroom. Rivals are panicking, City aren't happy. But how did INEOS manage to pull off this deal? What does this deal mean? What are INEOS also doing behind the scenes that has rivals worried? Dan Ashworth, among more. And then we're going to get into the transfer news, the striker deal on loan, the Choupo-Moting news, and more. So hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football. Welcome back to your 10-minute Manchester United news roundup. Please do hit that like button. And of course, subscribe down below if you're new, if you want to stay tuned for all the latest United news. But it was said by The Athletic, Laurie Whitwell in his recent report said news that Manchester United managed to lure Berrada away from their near neighbours has caused a stir in the boardroom across the Premier League. It's caused a stir. Manchester United luring Berrada away has made a massive statement for United, the INEOS project, saying, look, we are serious. And that has caused a stir in the Manchester City camp. That has caused a stir just around the Premier League. Rivals are meeting in their boardroom and thinking, okay, like Man United is serious. You know, they weren't taking Ratcliffe and INEOS seriously. Those rivals were celebrating when we didn't get Qatar and the Glazers were staying. But now they're thinking, this is a statement. It was said by The Athletic that Omar Berrada's move to Man United has been described as a potential game changer from United's perspective by multiple insiders. But what had rivals said about the move? What had those at Man City said? And it was said by a former Man City employee that Omar has been at City even before Ferran and Tixi landed there. But if before yesterday you'd asked me if anyone at the club had the capacity to potentially replace them, Berrada would have been the answer. And rivals apparently are thinking, oh my, this is a game-changing move by United. This is someone that City would probably want to replace their current regime because he was CFO of the City group. Rivals are thinking, like this statement has sent a message to rivals of Man United is serious now. So why are rivals worried? Because people forget that Man United are commercially the biggest club in England, and I think technically commercially the biggest club in the world. And if they get back to the top, they'll be levels ahead. Man United are always in sort of the top 5 revenue generators in football. I mean, probably top 3, because I don't think Man City make as much as they say they make. But Man United probably generate the third most amount of revenue in football pretty much every season when they're finishing 7th, 8th, not in the Champions League. You've got to imagine Man United winning leagues, how much revenue they would generate. The fan base of Man United is miles bigger than any other club. I'm telling you this now in England, it's miles bigger. Liverpool are closely second, to be honest. I wouldn't say miles bigger, Arsenal closely third. But we are the biggest club in England because when a player joins United, everyone's writing them off, calling them a flop. If a Man United player isn't doing well, they'll be written about way more than any other player. Man United will get way more attention, way more negative attention because it gets clicks. United are the biggest team commercially. And if Manchester United start performing on the pitch again, the amount of money we make commercially will go. And if we're performing on the pitch and then we're making massive amounts of money commercially, we're just going to have a load more money to spend and continue to improve that. And if that money is in the right hands, not Woodward's hands, not Mert's hands, but Omar Berrada's hands, potentially Dan Ashworth's hands, Paul Mitchell's hands, all of a sudden, Man United are like boom, 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 boom. And, you know, Ratcliffe taking Omar and then potentially taking Ashworth is a sign that the project is serious. Omar wouldn't join United if he didn't think he was going to have the freedom to control the club and do the changes that need to be made. Ashworth turned down United 2 years ago because he didn't want to work with Merton. Now apparently he's open to the move. We'll have to wait and see if that happens. But Manchester City, the best club in the world right now. Newcastle United, the richest club in the world right now. If 2 of their most important figures leave the City group and Newcastle join the United project, that is massive. 1, that says, okay, like they believe that United is serious, and 2, that's a massive statement from Ratcliffe. And then finally, this is the first time in ages Man United have not had an accountant or an accountant's friend running the club. Like, it's an actual footballing person coming in, and people don't realise it. Like, if Man United had footballing people running the club that weren't good, we'd still be a lot better than we are right now. We've had non-football people running the club, and we've gone from non-football people running the club to the best of the best in the football world running the club. What was said on United getting Omar in this appointment? It was said INEOS was the driving force behind the appointment of Omar Berrada as Manchester United's new CEO. The move made quickly, quietly and collaboratively. Sources say once he knew United's interests and the impressive way he was sold the club, it was impossible to say no. And for me, this is massive. Ratcliffe managed to sell the club to Omar Berrada, who turned down NFL teams, who turned down Premier League teams only recently, turned down a lot of big offers. But when Man United came, they sold the club, and he wouldn't join United if he thought, I'm just going to be working under Glazers' strings. I'm going to be working under them Glazers. he would only join United if he thought he was going to have the freedom to make a change and do what needs to be made. Now, a lot of people talk about FFP. Could he just be coming to United to avoid FFP? And we'll dive into that in a second. But I do want to say this. It was said by Chris Wheeler that Jim Ratcliffe and Dave Brailsford are determined to appoint the best in class to each position. And if they can get Paul Mitchell and Dan Ashworth in on top of this, I don't think we could have really got much better. And it looks like they're trying to make a statement saying we're not going to just get footballing people in, we're going to get the best of the best, like Man City did when they started their rebuild. They went and got everyone from Barcelona who was key to Barcelona's success. United want to do that. It was said that Sir Jim Ratcliffe and his INEOS colleagues are said to be delighted at the capture of Omar Berrada for Manchester United's CEO role. And like it says, a lot of people at United are very happy about this. A lot of people in the Premier League are not very happy about this, are worried about United. It's causing up a stir in boardrooms because that was a statement to go and boom, done, announced. No media faff. Boom, done, announced. Stole from Manchester City. These people that would have rejected United 2 years ago because they wouldn't want to work under the Glazers are happy to work under INEOS. That is a big statement. The big question is, FFP, is this guy involved in it? The Times say that the newly appointed Manchester United CEO, Omar Berrada, did not play any role in sponsorships and salary deals that led to Man City being charged with 115 rule breaches by the Premier League. I'd assume that Ratcliffe and those at United had looked into this before hiring him, but you never know with United. We do a lot of stupid things. So hopefully he's not involved in any FFP scandal. But there is that feeling that, you know, he's leaving City because they're a sinking ship, that City could be relegated. And a lot of major figures at City are open to leaving with this FFP thing going down. But what Phil said and what I've sort of been saying in this video is this. He said the encouraging thing about the Berrada appointment is what United will have to do, what United will have had to do to get him. They had to convince him to come, and they can only do that by giving him assurances that he will have the power, the commitment, and the resources to implement his vision. He isn't leaving City for a few extra quid a year, and this is spot on by Phil. He's leaving because Man United had to convince him that he's going to be able to make the changes that need to be made. Because there's this big worry, okay, well, we've got INEOS, we've got 25% stake. INEOS are bringing in the right people, but because the Glazers are still here, there's still that big worry, and there's still that part of me that's sceptical of what can INEOS do. Will INEOS be able to do everything they say they want to do? Because at the end of the day, the Glazers are here. They're still working under the Glazers. Will people want to come? Will there be the freedom? It looks like there could be. The interesting thing is, and someone pointed this out to me, that the Glazers have run Manchester United so badly that financially Man United are in the ground, that they're kind of at that place now where they kind of need someone to make all the decisions for them to try and get Man United back into a proper place, which is maybe why they're giving Sir Jim Ratcliffe so much freedom. The Glazers are honestly some of the worst businessmen in the world. People don't remember this, but the Glazers inherited money. They just got given a business. They were never businessmen. All their businesses have failed, and they're failing to run Man United properly. Now, what I thought was particularly interesting from the Athletic report was this. It was said United having a chief executive involved in sporting matters is a departure from predecessor Richard Arnold, who delegated responsibility to football director John Murtagh. Arnold felt he wasn't qualified to influence that area, but Ratcliffe believes the person running the club day to day should be comfortable engaging in the primary function of the football club. And this sums everything up that's been wrong with the Glazers for 18 years. People that aren't comfortable really doing things around football, running a football club. People that don't know enough about football to feel that they should make decisions running not just any football club, but Manchester United. Not just any football club, Manchester United. And, I mean, it should be, what Ratcliffe's doing isn't good. What Ratcliffe's doing should be the standard in any football club. It feels amazing, it feels brilliant, but that should be the standard of any football club. Have someone that knows football around the club. And I think this summed up everything that was wrong with our ownership these last 18 years. Ratcliffe believes the person running the day-to-day club should be comfortable engaging in the primary function of a football club. Football. But we don't do that. Bristol Bankers Club. Now, I could go there and I could rant about the Glazers, but how many times do I sit here and just moan and whinge and rant about the Glazers? They don't need my energy. Let's dive into the transfer news. As I've said with the sort of January transfer news, January transfer window, if United do anything, it's going to be a cheap striker on loan. All the plans off for the summer. But it was said this. Manchester United have started negotiations with Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting in the last few hours. The player is interested in a move to United. It was said Bayern Munich hope to keep Eric Choupo-Moting at the club, but the player is open to joining United. It's up to United. Now, Sam said that Manchester United, as it stands, are not in active negotiations with Bayern Munich for Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting. However, United like the player and he would be open to the move. So essentially, United are undecided on whether they're going to make a move for this striker in January or not. Basically, what that means is United will do something on deadline day in a big fat panic. The player wants to come. He's the one that we're looking at. If we're going to sign someone, it's probably going to be Choupo-Moting. But Man United will probably wait till January 29th, because we always wait till January 29th to do anything in the January transfer window. Going into the last slide, and I've put this here because right at the end, because this has come from not so reliable reports, so include it at the end of the video. These are your big take with a pinch of salt reports. But it said that Man United are ready to pay 60 million to sign Eze, attacking midfielder, to sign Crystal Palace attacking midfielder Eze in summer, and that Manchester United Chiefs is set to move on former Real Madrid star Casemiro. Look, Eze's fantastic, Eze's brilliant, but as I said, you have to take every bit of transfer news and transfer story about Man United summer plans with a pinch of salt, because they haven't got Dan Ashraf or Paul Mitchell, whoever else is coming in. They haven't implemented the vision. We don't know if Ten Hag's going to be there. I say that now. All the summer transfer news, you just got to take with a massive pinch of salt. Maybe Casemiro will leave. I wouldn't be shocked. Maybe we'll go for Eze because he's a baller. I think there's something in that Elise interest. I think there's something in the Amadou Onana interest, the Jarrad Branthwaite interest. But I think there's players we're clearly interested in, Todibo as well, Antonio Silva. But I don't think we'll have any key indication of which one it is that United are going to go for until sort of we get closer to the summer and we know the future. Anyway, thank you everyone for tuning into today's video. Please do hit that like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new. I hope you found this video informing. See you later. Live at 5:30. Bye.